As Red Chair legends John Legend, Adam Levine, and Kelly Clarkson return to The Voice for a titanic Battle of Champions match, they can't help but note how things have changed without Blake Shelton, an OG coach, in the mix. There will be many twists and turns in The Voice Battle of Champions, thanks to a new voting method and new rules this season. The coaches are giving it their all. The stakes are higher for these coaches to truly deliver as they build winning teams because none of the three veterans in the mix are Red Chair rookies. All three have won seasons of The Voice. The Voice coaches revealed during a press conference, leading up to the thrilling battle of Season 29, that they are ecstatic to be competing for a team that deserves to win again. The coaches couldn't help but notice a change during the blind auditions when they turned their chairs for country artists, despite the several rule tweaks that were coming in Season 29 of The Voice. After years of trying to stop Shelton from amassing an endless collection of the greatest country stars, the Season 29 panel was relieved to see that Shelton's days of acquiring them all were over. According to Clarkson, the Season 29 blind auditions were particularly challenging and full of unexpected incidents, such as when a coach sang with an artist only for them to join a different team. Levine, however, was pleased to say that all three groups, Team Adam, Team Kelly, and Team Legend, were able to achieve a balanced distribution of musical styles during their formation. As Clarkson concurred, it was even, which it usually is not. He continued, and we all had a chance at country. We did, Levine concurred, as the coaches recognized that their absence of a strategic CMA winning mastermind as a rival allowed them to acquire those country frontrunners. It's time for Clarkson, Levine, and Legend to join the fray. But Shelton always made a fantastic plea. Hi, Blake. Clarkson chuckled while looking straight into the camera as though Shelton were there. A faux rural twang sounded as Levin exclaimed, Hi, Blake, you're stupid. Hey, stupid Blake. Levine's unrelenting feud with Shelton, which has persisted for years after Shelton's departure from the show in 2023, was ridiculed by Clarkson and Legend. In the absence of the cowboy, it made it so the country artists were more evenly distributed, Legend said. The coaches then began discussing the possibility of using 3 coaches instead of 4 for the Battle of Champions. Levin is like the Red Chair remix, which is not surprising given that he has appeared on the coaches panel the most out of the 3. I adore it a great deal. There isn't a 4th person all the way down there, Levine stated, adding that the coaches' new arrangement this season has made it simpler for them to argue and joke about. Additionally, because these Red Chair icons have been friends for years, they must use extra creativity when pitching to find up-and-coming artists. I think the rapport is better because we all know each other obviously, so that helps, but the flow of everything is so much easier, Levine stated. It feels more like hanging out on strange chairs than an assembly line. Legend went on to say that the stakes are even higher since, in contrast to previous seasons, when the panel often consists of a Red Chair rookie, Battle of Champions is made up of coaches who have all won. We're so comfortable with each other, and the whole vibe has been just super comfortable the whole time. Everybody's super good, everybody's really good at coaching, good at pitching, good at convincing people to come to their team, Legend stated. Every aspect of the show, the level of competition is elevated. Something felt different even before the first note was sung when The Voice returned for Season 29. The red chairs continued to revolve. The lights remained bright. There was still no denying the talent. However, where one familiar presence had usually been, there was a palpable void. The entire program was affected by Blake Shelton's absence, as he was not seated in his famous coach's chair for the first time in years. Blake had been more than a coach for over 20 years. He served as the show's competitive fire, comic relief, emotional core, and heartbeat. Blake influenced The Voice's culture through everything from light-hearted rivalries with other coaches to sincere coaching sessions with competitors. Therefore, the change was more than just apparent when Season 29 debuted without him. It had a profound effect. His absence resulted in more than just a season without a veteran coach. It was a change. And as one insider candidly stated during a behind-the-scenes encounter, we all had a chance. The tone of the entire season was encapsulated in that one sentence. A fresh vibe in the studio. The mood within the studio was lighter but more erratic. From the first blind audition, The dynamics amongst the coaches changed in unexpected ways when Blake's imposing presence was no longer there to anchor the panel. For many years, Blake had been the seasoned fighter who understood how to manipulate the room, win over the competitors, and even influence outcomes in fights and knockouts. He had an advantage that younger coaches frequently struggled to match because of his expertise. But now that he was gone, the playing field felt more level. The producers saw it right away. The flow of conversations was altered. Coaches who had previously backed off due to Blake's experience now spoke up with greater assurance. In new directions, friendly rivalries started to emerge. Even the show's tempo felt unfamiliar, as though everyone was getting used to a different cadence. A reset button for the entire franchise, as one team member put it. The coaches take center stage. The other coaches took on more significant responsibilities in Blake's absence as the show's longtime anchor. They all appeared committed to leaving their mark, not only as mentors, but also as individuals who could continue the show. The atmosphere was one of opportunity. Previously, coaches relied on Blake's humor to diffuse tough situations, but now they had to come up with their own. Sharper banter and more strategic gameplay were introduced by those who took on the challenge. Others concentrated on strengthening their bonds with competitors, conscious that every exchange was being watched more intently by viewers. The change made the environment more competitive. The panel functioned as a collective, with each coach attempting to stand out while also cooperating, rather than having a single dominant personality set the tone. Week after week, viewers were kept guessing by the unexpected rivalries and surprise partnerships that resulted. The sentiment behind the scenes was unmistakable. Everyone had a chance to shine now that Blake was gone. The difference is sensible to the contestants. The candidates' own responses were arguably the most intriguing. For years, many aspiring singers had come to The Voice with the express goal of becoming a member of Team Blake. Some performers were drawn to him because of his track record of assisting country musicians in their endeavors, and his reputation as a kind mentor. Season 29 fundamentally altered that dynamic. Contestants had a new attitude going into the competition without Blake. They carefully considered every alternative, rather than focusing on just one coach. In many instances, this resulted in more deliberate choices during the blind auditions and more evenly distributed teams. Many competitors acknowledged that the procedure was less daunting without Blake. His exuberant demeanor had consistently drawn attention. Newer artists felt more free to express themselves and connect with any coach who genuinely grasped their concept without that intimidating presence. During a rehearsal break, one competitor described it perfectly. It felt like we all had a chance to be seen. As the season progressed, that feeling of opportunity kept coming up. A change in approach, the contest itself changed as well. Blake was well known for his strategic gameplay and frequently used charm and comedy to win over competitors. Without his unique strategies, the other coaches had to rapidly adjust. Blind auditions made hiring more straightforward and emotionally motivated. Instead of using lighthearted persuasion, coaches took the time to explain how they could support artists' development. Deeper discussions and frequently, closer ties between mentors and performers resulted from this shift. Another shift was discovered during battle rounds. Decisions felt less certain in the absence of Blake's intuition. Coaches took chances that would not have been taken in past seasons by experimenting with song selections and pairings. Some of those chances paid off handsomely, resulting in exceptional performances that went popular on the internet very fast. Viewers were more excited by the uncertainty. There was a feeling of discovery in each episode, as though the program was constantly reinventing itself. Reactions of fans to the new era at first, the audience's responses were conflicting. Blake's exit felt like the end of an era to those who had been watching for a long time. As fans shared their favorite moments from his years on the show, social media was a hive of nostalgia. Many questioned whether The Voice would still be appealing without its most well-known character. However,